Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. The word empathy. We hear it all the time, right? It's the modern Democrat Party's favorite word. In fact, I think it's less of a word to them and more of a label that they've taken sole ownership of that only applies to them. They're empathetic, and you, well, you're just a right-wing, racist, fascist, misogynist, conspiracy theorist, Islamophobic, homophobic piece of frickin' trash. Well, obviously the notion is completely frickin' backwards and stupid. The left does not possess a monopoly of empathy, but what they do possess is a monopoly on weaponized empathy, fake empathy. And that right there, that's the concept for today's video. I got a couple interesting moments I want to show you guys, which all I think help make the same point that Democrats do nothing but weaponize these fluffy social concepts. Let's go ahead and make the point, shall we? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so I want to start off with this video right over here. Let's see if we could spot the fake empathy, and actually in this case, the misplaced outrage.
You mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think that...
You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
We're seeing this weaponized empathy once again in real time with this whole Tim Walz, Minnesota fraud case. Well, maybe not a case just yet, but you know, it is certainly a case. But basically the backstory to that encounter with the president was that apparently Trump used the phrase seriously retarded when speaking about Tim Walz. And now immediately the media has gone into a full-on frenzy. It's all they're freaking talking about. You got all these journalists and press people hounding the president with question after question, demanding an apology. Do you regret saying that? Will you apologize to Tim Walz? All the outrage over two stupid and quite accurate words. And obviously that's by design, and I think Trump's response to the question really helps expose it all. You know, instead of groveling, he pivots straight back to the real issue. You know, it's kind of crazy that this guy allowed this level of fraud that we're seeing in Minnesota happen under his watch for 4 freaking years straight. You know, that's the point. And that, of course, should be the point of a real outrage. If you were truly empathetic, that's where your focus would be. But instead, the outrage is solely focused on Trump's mean words. Ooh. Not on the fraud, not on the fact that Tim Walz is allegedly being exposed for having retaliated against the whistleblowers in his ranks that were calling out and identifying the fraud. No, the outrage is that Donald Trump said something mean. See what I mean? Weaponized empathy to distract, to counteract selective outrage, phony outrage, and of course all of it, always in the pursuit of power. That's at the core of all of it. And this, my friends, is exactly why I cannot stand left-wing politics. I cannot associate myself with the party of false empathy. They never get animated when there's actual harm, when there's real corruption or abuse. No, they only get animated when the optics is beneficial for them, when they feel they can hit the other side, put themselves on a pedestal, or of course attain power. You know, this Joe Rogan, Elon Musk moment, I think really speaks to it.
I should say left wing, because the left wing used to be normal.
The left used to be like pro free speech.
Yeah.
And now they're against it.
It used to be like pro gay rights, pro women's right to choose, pro minorities.
20 years ago, I don't know, it used to be like left would be like the party of empathy, or like, you know, caring and being nice and that kind of thing. Not the party of like crushing dissent and crushing free speech, crazy regulation, and just and being super judgy, and calling everyone a Nazi. You know, like I think they've called you and me Nazis. You know.
I'm a Nazi. I think. I have friends that are comedians that called you a Nazi, and I got pissed off.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Like not
definitely
as a
Nazi.
joke.
No, because you did that thing at the. My heart goes out
like
to you.
Everyone
everyone, all of them,
literally.
Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, every one of them did it. They all did it.
how do you point at the crowd? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
How do you wave at the crowd?
Do you know CNN was using a photo of me whenever I got in trouble during COVID
Oh, man.
from the UFC weigh-ins? And if the UFC weigh-ins, I go, hey, everybody, welcome to the weigh-ins. And so they were getting me from the side, and that was the photo that they used. Conspiracy theorist podcaster Joe Rogan. Like, that's what they used.
Yeah, but that's what the left is today. It's a super judgy and calling everyone a Nazi and trying to suppress freedom of speech.
Yeah, and eventually you run out of people to accuse because people get pissed off and they leave.
Exactly. The leftist stance on free speech tells you all that you need to know. They're the side of censorship, deplatforming, pressuring advertisers and platforms to shut down their political opponents. They're the ones labeling dissent as hate speech or using emotional narratives to justify shutting and deplatforming people. And of course, it's all under the guise of empathy, but it's all fake. You think they care about people's feelings? Oh, you can't say the R word. It really hurts people's feelings. You think they really care about the special ed kid who might feel bad if you use that word? Of course not. It's simply a tactic. They love off-limit words and taboos, using protected peoples and protected groups as shields to then weaponize those delicate subjects to cancel, silence, destroy their political opponents. That's the true agenda. It's not true empathy, it's weaponized empathy. And you see it with every single issue. We see it with the illegal immigration issue. Every freaking day, it's a new profile of illegal immigrants. And you'll notice every single time, even though the majority of people coming over the border illegally are just military-age men who want to work under the table, for some reason, the media profiles always target the whammons and the kids. Like this latest one.
Santos has lived in the United States for 3 years. She's been raising her children on her own since January, after her husband was deported. She tells me she wanted to stay in the country longer and have better education for her kids. Goa Santos says ICE agents contacted her over the phone and gave her an option to either be detained or self-deport. She believes leaving is the best choice for her family. She says, I don't want my kids to see someone come into the house with a gun or have them or her be handcuffed. Goa Santos plans to make the most of her last few days she has here.
Here we have a Colombian mother who chose to self-deport with her kids after her husband was deported. And everybody wants you to feel so bad. It's another sob story. Look at this poor mother. Look at ICE. ICE is evil. Her kids won't be able to go to school. But if you actually listen, ICE is not evil. Again, counter to their narrative, ICE is not Trump's Gestapo. They actually gave her a courtesy call. It's pretty damn nice and gave her the opportunity to self-deport, which puts her in a better position if she wants to actually legally migrate back into the country. They tell you it's cruel, but it's not. It's the proper implementation of the law, and she should not be here. But of course, they want you to not think about common sense and all the downsides of illegal migration, or just the cultural element of rewarding doing the wrong thing. No, they just want you to see the mother and kids and feel emotional so they can then weaponize that empathy to have you support their subversive anti-American agenda. I mean, we've gone through so many of these profiles. It's one after another. Remember this one?
I have to get up and I have to show my babies you fight for what's right. You fight for the people that you love.
The woman and the kids on the couch. Oh, my husband was deported. Yeah, well, your husband was also in the country for 20 years, likely working under the table, not paying taxes. Or maybe there was a reason why he never tried going through the legal path. Then he gets pulled over, driving without a license, operating a business illegally. And now we're supposed to feel bad because he got deported. Of course not. But of course, it's all about the optics, the mother, the children. Oh, Donald Trump hates brown people. They want to activate your empathy switch. They want to bypass your brain and get you to support something that frankly is not empathetic at all when you zoom out and look at the macro view. Because of course the policy outcome that they're trying to sell you on, this open borders nonsense, is one of the most destructive policies that we've witnessed in modern times. It's nothing but emotional manipulation, emotional blackmail, and of course standing on the backs of, quote, protected groups and peoples, to police speech, to police thought, to back people into walls, to get them to apologize, to get them to submit. And well, I'll tell you, that's why I think Donald Trump is such an important figure, because he basically gave the green light to not have to apologize for any of it. Just tell them to F off. And that's exactly what we need to keep doing. Not because we're mean, not because we're trying to be edgy, heartless, aggressive, whatever you want to call it, because it's the right thing. And we need to keep steamrolling through, never give an inch, never cower to these emotional narratives when you know that you're telling the truth. Speak it unabashedly, unapologetically. If somebody is presiding over massive fraud, you call them a massive retard. If someone is abusing the system for 20 freaking years and finally gets deported, you don't don't have to pretend like they're actually a victim of Donald Trump's Hitlerian fascism. If you do, you are playing into their hands. Their entire strategy is distraction and guilt, to focus on the words, focus on the narratives, the racial grievance narratives, and not the actual context, not the scandal, not the policy, not the policy results. They want you focused on the liberal tears and not the facts. They want you focused on the harmful, dangerous speech. No, not the massive censorship regime that they're building up. Don't fall for it. Never, ever let them drag you into an emotional space in the world of politics, in the world of thought. That's how you become a pawn, a tool, a manipulated asset. Stay locked on the substance. Who's doing the stealing, the lying, the silencing? Who's exploiting your good nature and trying to get away with it? The left is the side of false empathy, all in the pursuit of power, and you simply cannot give it to them. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.